Hi, Nico and Jacqueline
Hello.
here. Today we'll be taking you on a food and wine pairing experience here in the beautiful Swiss Alps in Verbier, Switzerland.
That's right.
Cooking in this lovely chalet today, and we'll be making Nico will be making one of our favourite meals, which is a duck confit. This can sound a little bit complicating, but he's going to show you today that it is actually not so complicated. With the duck, we'll be pairing a beautiful wine from the south of France in the Languedoc region in the Fougère appellation. Okay.
All right.
Cooking.
Let's go. Okay, so for the first step of confit, so we need to cure the meat. So it means it's salted. So the salt goes inside the duck and season it. So you can start with just rock salt, have some aromates or zest of lemons or orange, is as you feel. So for me, I put some lemon zest, some bay leaves and peppercorns, and mix it through, and then that's your curing mix for the duck. So we start with the duck. So the duck pieces is duck legs, of course, because it's a confit. You cannot cook it very fast, so it's more of a slow cooking process. So you can either have the whole duck or just a few pieces in half. It's as you feel. So to start, you will get another bucket and you start putting salt at the bottom of the tray, and you start just putting pieces on the salt, touching straight away to the tray and the salt, and then you have some more and you cover. So you really want the salt to get into the meat and really get the salt and the flavor coming out. And here we're gonna actually cure it for minimum 2 hours to 3 hours. 3 hours is a good time because it's not over salted, but it gives the meat to really get the salt, and the texture will change. So right now we're gonna put that for 2 to 3 hours in the fridge, and we come back to it. Alright, so while the duck is curing in the salt for 3 hours, you can start getting your duck fat out of the fridge, which I already did, and you put in your cocotte or your pot. It doesn't have to be a cast iron or something. You actually put your duck fat to melt, so it's already at temperature. It doesn't have to be boiling hot, you don't want that at all. You just want slightly warm. So then once we wash the duck from the salt, we can put straight in the duck fat and get it cooking. Alright, so here we have our duck which been salted for 3 hours. So get nice and cured, got the salt inside. So now we're gonna wash it. So you can wash it under the tap, of course, cold water. Here I've got a cold water in a bucket, which I'm going to take the salt off and then dry it. So here we go. We make sure we take the salt off properly, and then we will really want to dry it well. That will be the longest part of the course. So a big day, cooking for dinner, just getting organized for the dinner, and then that's it. Voila. So here, as we go, the duck is nicely in paper towel. Make sure it's nicely dry. Behind me, there is the duck fat that we got to eat up a little bit, so it's ready to get going in the oven. Of course, you have your oven at 110 degrees, ready to go, and it's gonna confit for, let's say, 3 hours. Depends on how big is the meat, you know, you cannot force the cooking. All right, so here we go. So you need to have quite a bit of confit. It needs to be the whole meat inside, so it needs to be fully covered. You see, it's gonna get, ooh, that smells the duck fast. That's delicious already. So it's okay, as long as it's all covered up with the fat. So you see, I can put my finger in the fat. It's not boiling hot. It doesn't need to be boiling hot. You really, confit is a slow cooking in the fat, getting the moisture inside the meat. Put the lid on, keep really the warmth inside, and we check in 2 hours, see how it looks. Look, mushroom sauce, simple. We have some fresh mushroom, so you can use pretty much any mushroom you like, from field mushroom to king brown to girole, chanterelle, whatever how luxurious you want to be with mushroom. Look, here right now we have some king brown mushroom because it's quite a texture mushroom. We have some dried mushroom to some dried porcini actually, which gives really the flavor, the earthiness of the sauce. And then you will have some pork, one onion and a clove of garlic and a bit of cream. So to start is we're gonna just dice some onion. So I just finely voilà. So here we have a bit of oil, little casserole. Allez, 1 tablespoon. So we put that on a heat of, let's start with medium. So it starts to get the caramelization. I'm gonna start cutting the mushroom. So I actually would like a bit of texture with this sauce. So I'm not gonna fully dice them very small. I'm just gonna do a few big dice. Not like perfect, of course, but just so let's use maybe two nice king brown mushroom. Let's not be too shy. So I can hear the onion starting to make noise a little bit. Ooh. Just use a wooden spoon. Sweat the onion. A little bit of color, but not too much. Pinch of salt. Bit of pepper. And let's let it sweat. We're gonna have maybe a good pinch of the dry porcini. Voila, like that. So we'll cook the onion and then we'll add the mushroom and cook them till they start to translucid a bit with the flavor of the onion. And then we will deglaze it with some pork. So not too much, like a good shot or two. So you can actually, if you don't have pork, you can use white wine or red wine. I like the port because it gives some sweetness to the dish with the mushroom, goes very well. Okay, so here the mushroom and the onions all caramelized, nice color. So now we're gonna deglaze with the pork. You can hear all the sugars coming out, beautiful. So that's good. So now really is let it really make a sauce, the finishing. So we have some cream. And we're just gonna just simmer it, cook it for like maybe a good half an hour to start, till all the flavor comes out.
So for our wine today, we've selected a red wine from the south of France, from the Languedoc region, and Fougères in particular here. So this is a winery called Domaine du Métier. So a very unique winery from the south of France. As the name suggests, they had a meteorite crash into their property 10,000 years ago. And now they're growing vines in the bottom of it. So a beautiful feature of this winery, definitely something to go see. They're producing some really great organic wine. So in this case here we have their Carignan. All of their cuvées are named after meteor showers. So this one here I don't think so as much, but it is in the theme. So Carignan is the name, and the grape variety or cépage in here is Carignan grape variety. So I think it's a bit of a play on words there. Carignan, very typical grape variety from Fougères. Most of the time it is blended with other varieties as to keep to the strict Appellation regulations of the winemaking area. But in this case here, they have done 100% Carignan, which is very interesting. You can't always achieve that without older vines, more established vines. So Carignan generally needs about 50 years to really become mature and rounded enough to bottle as a singular variety. A lot of red fruit showing and quite herbaceous and earthy, without being too full-bodied as well. This one in particular, it doesn't see any oak aging or oak fermentation, so it's all stainless steel fermented, so it keeps it quite light in terms of a Fougères wine as well. They have a reputation for being quite big and full-bodied, so we found that it would be a good pairing for our duck in that way. So nice soft tannins. Yeah, we think it will be delicious, so let's find out.
Alright, so it has been 3 hours that we are cooking the duck leg. So as you can see, look, just to test it, you feel that it's actually just breaking out of the bone very easy, without pressure, and that's what you want. So you have the choice to just use the duck leg out of the pot, confit like that, or you can just finish with the skin in a pan, nice and hot, so you can just get this crispiness and of course a bit more flavor to it. And then under you will have the potato puree that we made, a bit of green which I just barely show you, but it's just some petals of the Brussels sprout just slightly blanched, and of course the mushroom sauce. Alright, let's try it.
Shall we taste it?
Alright, so let's try. Ladies first. I might just try the wine first. So as you can see, falling apart.
Can't beat the texture of coffee. It's not like anything else.
Yeah, it just falls through, so it's pretty good.
It's delicious.
Voila. Wine. This really red fruit coming out. I think it just really breaks out of the fattiness of the dish, the earthiness, which gives a bit more freshness into the dish as well.
Santé.
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 Hope you enjoyed the video. We'll try to do some more and keep you updated with some new dishes maybe.
Absolutely.
Let us know if you have any question, of course. that we could help you with or improve.
We'll try to put a more structured recipe in writing
That's right.
that you can follow. Oh, so good. Happy cooking!